Distributed in the hundreds of thousands of copies worldwide since first published in late 2021, Love is the Only Solution is a must-read in this urgent situation we find ourselves, where deadly diseases, unnatural disasters, social crises, and even bloody wars came one after another with no signs of ending. This timely book is composed of heartfelt messages from Supreme Master Ching Hai, who dedicates her life to a vision of world vegan, world peace. In her book, Supreme Master Ching Hai points out the root cause of all unfortunate events, the destructive meat-eating habit which has made countless animal people endure untold suffering since time immemorial. Her message affirms the teaching, as you sow, so shall you reap, and reminds us that this grave sin will be returned multifold until humanity sincerely respects the universal law of love for all beings and completely switches to a compassionate vegan way of life. Today, we share with you the wise teachings of Supreme Master Ching Hai in excerpts of her book, Love is the Only Solution. The current global situation. I was thinking, how come the world is not better yet? I mean, not the way I want. Not like completely better. Not like heaven and peace for everybody. Still, it's very chaotic at the moment. Not the pandemic only, but the animal people die by hundreds of thousands because they cannot sell. They kill them, hundreds of thousands. Pig or cow or chicken, mink people. And then the whole world is in deficit. Because of the pandemic, people don't work. They're less productive, but cost more. Even I heard Americans' debt is like some 30 trillion US dollars. Something like that. Some trillions anyway. And then there is Ebola, but it's probably better now. And the salmonella in chicken people, etc., etc. And the seasonal flu has still not disappeared ever. It visits us again and again, and that's also sometimes deadly, or very uncomfortable, and very damaging to the body, because if you take antibiotics, it's also not good for the body. And then even those sicknesses before, like SARS and MERS, and stuff like that, they're still in the corner somewhere. Maybe they don't spread so quickly like COVID-19, but they are still spreading. It's just because the COVID-19 now covers everything. Many cancer patients are neglected. People complained and the newspapers printed them. And tuberculosis is neglected. And malaria, people with other kinds of chronic diseases or dangerous diseases, many are neglected because of the COVID-19 situation. Lockdown and hospitals are full and the pandemic is new and more urgent. So many patients are not really cared for and die, especially the elderly. So it's not only the pandemic that kills people, there are other things as well. Other old epidemics, pandemics, are also still ongoing. And now we have even floods, torrential rains and landslides in many places, and the locust disaster in many places, bee declines, also droughts everywhere, and farmers are helpless. No one can help them. It's worrisome for our world. Some people worry that due to all this, we will have a food shortage. And even mental stress. Even some doctors killed themselves because of the situation, and maybe the virus attacked their brain, so they could not even think straight. That's what it was. I saw one doctor, so beautiful, American, just killed herself like that, and many more. And many doctors and hospital personnel and nurses died because of infection. Because in the beginning, nobody prepared for this, so they didn't have enough equipment for protection, so they just died like that. Imagine these heroic people. And then in England, like doctors and nurses already retired, they came back out again, just to help out because they are needed. The hospitals called them and they came back and sacrificed and they died. Many of them, just like that. Imagine. Yeah, terrible. How would you feel if you were their family members? Normally, they work hard all their lives already. And then now, they enjoy a little bit of leftover of their time on Earth. They have to sacrifice and die just like that. I feel it's not fair. It's a big cleaning time, and even if we get over this, others will come. And nowadays, we have so many things coming, not just this. We have Ebola, we have Salmonella from the chicken people farms, and all that stuff. And even the mink people. You know the mink people that people peel the fur to wear? Like in some European countries, I think it was Holland, they killed thousands and thousands of them because they were afraid of the transmission of the disease. But no matter how many animal people you kill, it doesn't help you if you don't change your way of life. If you keep cutting the forest and let the wild have nowhere to live, and then we get closer and closer to the wild animal persons, then they will transmit the disease in any way. And then one jumps to another, and then the world is in trouble like this. We just have to leave the animal persons in peace if we want peace. That's it. That's very simple. More I cannot say. More I cannot say because that is the fact, and everybody knows it. The environment. I'm sure many of you are aware of the increasing number of global warming effects noted worldwide, so I will just share a few from the world and the United States. In the Arctic, North Pole, so much ice has already melted that scientists are forecasting an ice-free summer within as little as 3 to 6 years, which would be the first time in 1 million years. Meanwhile, Greenland is shedding 85 million tons of icebergs each day due to warming, and at a rate that is increasing by 7% each year. The West Antarctic ice shelf is also melting, with 3.3 meters sea level rises forecast that would threaten cities like in your country, New York, Washington, D.C., and San Francisco. And if all of Antarctica and Greenland were to melt, meaning the ice, then the sea levels could rise to as much as 70 meters, which would be deadly or disastrous to most lives on Earth. Glaciers across the globe are shrinking more quickly than researchers ever expected, leaving rivers and lakes gone, disappearing, or dying, with no water for crops, and billions who face food shortages due to water shortages as well. Due to rising sea levels, islands are sinking as we speak, with Tuvalu, Tonga, and some 40 other island nations having to plan their whole country's migrations. They are being forced to join the already 20 million climate refugees today. The International Organization for Migration stated that there may be 200 million climate refugees by 2050. According to researchers at Georgia Institute of Technology, United States of America, worldwide, the number of the most destructive Category 4 and 5 hurricanes has doubled over the past 35 years. Category 5 storms yield the highest level of destruction in major cities. Their intensity and duration have also increased by 75% since the 1970s. One of these storms, whose effects can still be seen and felt, was the 2005 Hurricane Katrina, which devastated, especially, areas of New Orleans, with people who are still recovering their homes and their lives today. I am so sorry the American people have had to suffer through such tragedies. Supreme Master Ching Hai's book, Love is the Only Solution, is free for download at loveforpeace.org and smchbooks.com.
Vegan, because we cannot imagine we are the ones who are tortured and murdered.
Kind-hearted viewers, it has been a joy to have you with us for today's episode on Words of Wisdom.